Let's chat about Primoz Roglic, though, on Sunday, because we came off air thinking that he had gotten within a minute now on GC and Ben O'Connor. He was 43 seconds after gaining 38 seconds. However, that 38-second advantage he gained on stage 16 was then cut to 18 seconds because it got a 20-second penalty at him, as if this wasn't all chaotic enough. Talk me through exactly why, first of all.
So why he got on that bike, which is his, let's say, call it his climb bike. So it's got one chainring on it, more climbing wheels in it, less aerodynamic on the flat.
So he switched bike for anybody who missed it.
Basically switched bikes, but there was no need for him to switch bikes. So when he did switch bikes, he got behind the team car, as we can see, drafted back onto the peloton, and then he got a fine for that, for drafting on.
I mean, it wasn't subtle, was it?
It wasn't subtle, but at the same time, the problem is that the UCI said there was no need for the bike change.
Yeah. So it wasn't a mechanical, for example?
Well, yes, it wasn't mechanical, but he could have said my disc brake was rubbing. And then you got to argue the fact that, OK, my disc brake was rubbing, or whatever it was. You can argue the point. Yeah.
My point being that if it was a mechanical, he would be given greater leeway to draft, but it was a tactical change, wasn't it?
Exactly that. And there will be teams within the team cars will have seen it and say, that's not right, you can't do that, you can't do that. So ultimately, yes, abiding by the rules, he deserved the 20 seconds. It could have been a lot worse, but did you really deserve it at that point in time? Because he still had to chase back on. You know, it's not...
It was a tactical change, but I think it was a tactical error. I don't think he needed to have that bike change, time penalty or not. He's chipping away at this lead. I think he can go toe-to-toe with his rivals without doing that on a really bad point in the race as well, because it was on a descent where the cars are going to be further apart in the convoy, so it's going to put more pressure on him and the team car to use their car rather than just being able to, you know, keep chipping away at every car in the convoy, which would be more tightly packed if it was on in a slower part of the bike race. I just think it was totally unnecessary.
OK, so let's question why they did it then, because you could say that's maybe overthinking it and being a bit too clever. But we're all buying into this narrative, which Primoz Roglic is not selling, to be perfectly honest. It's all of us watching the race and all of us who've watched Primoz Roglic in the past and saying he's going to be able to fairly easily turn around that time gap and win this race. However, he himself has said, I'm struggling with my back. He did crash out of the Tour de France. And I just wonder, because we've not seen, I don't feel we have seen the Primoz Roglic yet that we've seen in the past. And I wonder whether that is indicative of the fact that maybe he and the team are thinking we need every advantage we can get, because you're saying, yes, he could have gone toe-to-toe with any of the riders normally, and obviously he finished incredibly well. But are they trying to get any extra advantage where they can because he's not in the top form?
No, in regard to that bike change, he did that 2 years ago at the Giro D'Italia, last year as well. For the last 2 years, he's always started changing his bike around for these kind of climbs. I think a mental game more than anything, and also the other part is with it, if other riders see him on that bike, they'll start to look at him and go, he's got an advantage, he's got an advantage, he's changed his bike, he's on this. So that mental game might work for him. So there's a reason for doing it. But in terms of vintage Roglic and what we've seen him in the past, it's not what he used to... Well, no. I'd say he is what he used to be, but everyone's caught up. I think everyone's got a lot closer to him. So those attacks we saw in the past, I don't think he's a different rider. I think he's stronger than he was then, but I think everyone's just caught up with him. So these gaps that we used to see in Primoz Roglic have, that we used to see him go up the road, we used to see the big long-range attacks. Well, not really even long-range attacks. He never really went on...
Just punchy attacks.
Just real punchy ones. I think everyone's just caught up with him. Because it's not like he's not tried. He tried the other day to do it. He got caught by Mas. Mas dropped him, then he was able to get back to him. There's only been one time where he's able to get away. But in terms of what he's been doing in the past to what he's doing now, it's fairly similar. But everyone, I think, has just raised their game up, raised the level. So he's no longer able to do that in the way that he was in the past.